Hello, conscious breathers, infinite beings, breath family. Hello. Today's topic is mindful eating. I'm going to turn down the song. Someone wants to hop in already. Hey guys. So today's topic is mindful eating and the power of mindful eating. And I know most people know me from the fasting community or the fasting world, so to speak. And let's start there. You know, when you fast and then you finally break the fast with whatever it is, you notice your sense of taste is heightened. That goes into, hopefully you were on a really powerful detox. That's one. And your sense is overall heightened. Did comments turn off? Hey. Yeah, so your overall sense of awareness is heightened because you haven't seen the food in X amount of days or however long it is, and you finally get to try it, right? That splendid wonder. Hey Ben. That splendid wonder of awareness start to arise in your overall being. So when it comes to mindful eating, when it's implemented in your daily life, I truly believe it's really powerful and more nourishing, if anything, because you're more aware of your food, you're more aware of what you're putting in your body. Any meditative practice that you do, it's technically mindful eating because you're becoming one with that energy, and that's becoming you. Same thing can apply to the dense side of things when it comes to drinking, eating, whatever it is. Let's start there in terms of eating anything dense. Try to eat as much as possible with your hands. I know we live in a COVID world, but it's better to really eat with your hands. When we look back in time and look at certain cultures, they eat with their hands because that sends there's neurotransmitters within our hands that send it all to the brain, the right hemisphere of the brain, the left hemisphere of the brain. It just gives more awareness to what you're putting in your body, so to speak. So any hand food you can get your hands on, the better. Ben, do you want to come on here live? I'd love to have you if you're open, because I truly think you probably resonate with this topic in terms of maybe Zen eating, because your name is Ben Zen, right? So I say that to say it goes way beyond diet. It goes beyond healthy. The implementation of how we do things is also truly important, rather than what we also just put in our bodies. Does anyone have any questions before I dive deeper? So other than touching the hands with the hands, try smelling it. Little do people know, when it comes to taste, most of taste actually comes from smell. So give whatever you're ingesting in your body a good whiff. And when you do that, that sends a signal straight to the brain saying, I'm going to take whatever information I just sniffed to then start the process of getting ready to intake whatever is coming in my body. See, that is the power of mindful eating. Rather than watching something, if you're going to watch something, at least just give more awareness to your food before you watch something like a show or whatever it is, whatever you're doing. Just give that awareness to your food. And you will find, if you're on whatever journey you're on in terms of either weight loss or just more quote-unquote nutritious eating, that's going to help you feel quote-unquote more full, because you are getting more awareness of the energy beyond the density of what the food provides. the energy behind it in terms of the biophotons that the food has on it. Hopefully you're eating more live foods. If anything, hopefully the biophotons on the food, because that sends information into the pores of your hands, or even if you're taking a whiff of it, send it straight to the brain, and that's information itself to the DNA saying, all right, DNA is releasing certain chemicals to send energy, getting ready to digest whatever you're quote unquote sniffing or touching, and it's going to be utilized more efficiently in the body. This is one of the main proponents I stress on my clients to do mindful eating. It's so important because when it comes to bulimia, when it comes to all these different eating disorders, it's more of a mental disorder than the actual physical aspect of it. You see people eating normally and throwing up because what's happening here mentally as well. So a great another point is probably do a little mini session of breath work before you eat. And that's why I love the parasympathetic breath work, because it's not overstimulating and you're stimulating more quote unquote rest, digest. And that is what the parasympathetic has. The digestive part is truly important in sending more energetic resonance into that part. So, with that being said, that even heightens the awareness of what you're quote unquote seeing, because you know when you do breath work, you see everything becomes quote unquote more crisp. At least what I've seen with the people I've worked with and clientele, everything is more crisp. So when you're looking at your food, you can take in more information. Whatever you're looking at, the body is taking in way more information in that sense. And it's saying, what am I doing with it? So we technically eat with our eyes too. And you can look at the Heisenberg theory. There's a certain ray that's beaming out the eyes. And that is called the Heisenberg ray, as they call it. And that should tell you how connected, whatever we're looking at, we are kinetically connected with, energetically connected with. And the body takes in information via eyes, touch, smell, and even awareness beyond those senses than that what we're told. We have so many senses. The fact that we have over so many mirror receptors in itself should tell you how powerful we really are in that sense, in terms of overall senses beyond sight, beyond the physical that we've been brought up to believe. There's an energetic echo, if you will. The breathing exercises are similar. No, it's not. What you're talking about, ZZ, is sympathetic breath work. I'm talking about the opposite. If you're not familiar with alchemy at all, go check some of the videos, do it yourself, and see the difference in that aspect. So, next thing is, even on a deeper level, is trying to eat in silence. And you'd be surprised how full you feel. Or at least if you play some harmonious music while you eat, at least something really healing in that aspect, because you're also going to be eating the audio, so to speak. And like I said, there's an overall sense of awareness beyond sight, smell, touch, all those other aspects, auditory. There's an even deeper resonance when it comes to energetics. And that's what you're intaking. So, shoot, play mantras while you're eating. It's like you're literally eating the mantras. Mindful eating. It's powerful. It is really powerful. Play some subliminal breath work in the back. You'd be surprised, I'm telling you, how full you feel because you're hearing hydrating breaths while you're eating. I had one client who went from 230 to 160 in the matter of 3 months. And one of the exercises we had was her listening to the subliminal breath work while she's eating. No matter what she did, I don't care if she watched TV or whatever it is, I told her, at least play it in the background while you eat. and that's a powerful way of programming yourself subliminally as well, in a more healthier way. Don't care what she was watching, there's an energetic resonance of healing in the background that she's always hearing no matter what she's watching. That in itself will help build up a defense mechanism in that aspect. And she even told me, I went from watching this type of genre of TV to little to no TV in that aspect, but a more different harmonious genre, like something from reality TV shows to more documentaries, if anything, to more things that is more educational in that aspect. So yeah, play some subliminal healing music in the background, and that takes on in the depths of your body, because you could be watching some violent stuff, you're technically eating that violent resonance, and so all these little subtle things, guys, plays into the traumas that we all store within our bodies. Man, it runs so deep. It really does. I started UT 4 to 5 months ago along with breath practice, and I still go back to binge. Every time is more and more unpleasant. What do you get rid of? The mucus that feel more after binging. See, the fact that you're feeling, probably before you couldn't even feel the mucus, right? So at that point it becomes, am I self-sabotaging myself? And that's a more even deeper dialogue. And that is the power of breath consciousness and breath awareness. So I think this is a very good topic, Faten, that you brought up too, in terms of binge eating. That's why mindful eating is really, really important, because we can literally eat our way to death. Literally. Obesity is the number one thing beyond the C word that's killing people in the whole entire world, specifically America, in that aspect, but overall the whole aspect of the world, because you can see the power of what Hollywood has done for the whole entire world, and it's shifting how people eat as well. Unfortunately, you see how India is being affected by the western side of Hollywood things, and that's shifting it even into their movies and their eating habits and things like that. It's so subliminal. Like I said, it's the subtle things. God is in the details also, not just the devil in the details. God is also in the details. So this is, whenever someone brings up conspiracies or how they brainwash whatever it is, you can do the same thing but the opposite. If they're spending billions of dollars to do this and shift your mind in such a way, you don't have to spend billions of dollars, but you can use your same methods, and that's even a more smarter approach in my opinion, and shift the world at how you please, in terms of your community, in terms of the people you impact on the day-to-day life, like the real connection beyond this digital aspect. I'm talking about that real rawness of things. And that's why I think Clubhouse in itself is going to be doing a huge benefit for humanity in that aspect, because you're hearing that raw talk. You're hearing it live, just like we're doing live now. I've been getting positive feedback when it comes to me doing live breath work. When someone watches something on my YouTube, right? It's something about doing this live with you in person that really just elevates me versus just watching your YouTube. And yeah, energetics don't lie. It's that same mimic, that back to the whole mirror receptor aspect, that we all have so many mirror receptors in our bodies. I'm always increasing my energy levels in terms of the mindset of how I go about things. I'm always increasing, and I will humbly say the breath is still teaching me to this day, because there's no limit on what the breath can and cannot do. Does anybody want to go live and talk about mindful eating? You're more than welcome to, because I think it's so important. So important. I don't care what kind of fast you've done. Maybe you're in the middle of a fast. when you break, this is a powerful way to really reprogram your subconscious. Let's say you go on a whole liquid fast, right? You go on a whole liquid fast, and then you're gonna break it with some chewing or whatever it is. Before you do that, play the most healing music in the background, or be in pure silence. If you don't have any positive healing music in the background, at least be in just pure silence. Because when you're in that pure silence, there's an inner chamber in your mouth when you're chewing. Just hearing that is going to send certain chemicals that the body needs to digest and really absorb the nutrients from what that dense food you're chewing provides. So let's say pineapple has more of a specific chemical. I'm just putting this out there or whatever. And let's say you ate something else that has a more specific chemical, right? And they're all kind of similar, whatever it is. Let's say something really close to the pineapple. I'm just putting this just for example purposes. So pineapple and something very similar to the pineapple, right? If we implement the states of mindful eating, right, you're going to absorb way more nutrients of what that specific difference in terms of something similar to the pineapple has. Whatever it has, more of the other, you're going to absorb way more of it. Way more of it, all right? Another exercise you could do is stretch your arms, rotate your neck, because this upper atmosphere is where the eating is happening. Massage your face, massage your mouth. And that gives more mindfulness to the overall experience. And that's why mindful eating is really powerful. It'll really help with your binge eating for sure. I promise you, as long as you're consistent with it, and you'll see the major difference. Another thing is praying for your food, or just having your hands over the food. Maybe rub your hands, clap your hands, get that energy rolling. Have it over your food. Set the intentions over your food as well to bring more of that energetic resonance to whatever you're eating. Anybody want to come on live? You're more than welcome to. I'm open to inner dialogue, any questions, going deeper on this subject. If you guys don't know who are new to my channel, I've been 4 years on liquids myself. And even before transitioning to it, it was mindful eating that got me to integrate more of what the breath can do in terms of healing and the overall awareness of what I'm putting into my body. Mindful eating changed my life, and it can change yours as well. The more you are connected to how you do things, it's not just what you do, but how you do it. It all comes together in that one unified aspect. I'm addicted to cigarettes. Basically, I'm addicted with a lot of chemicals. Do you know about any foods able to restore my lungs in order to quit and empower my breathing? So one thing I would definitely say, breath is a superfood. That's one. But how you breathe in terms of efficient breathing, first thing in the morning, especially when I work with cigarette smokers, when I work with them one-on-one, I tell them, what's the earliest time you can wake up? I don't care. What's the earliest time you can wake up? That's going to be our session, because as soon as you wake up, theta is at an all-time high. I'm actually going to make subliminal breath work for cigarette smokers, just for smokers in general, because I think that'd be powerful. I think that's something that's been long overdue as well, other than the COVID one I just put out. But subliminal breath work for smoking, oh my God. Yeah, that's going to happen. So guess who's been engineering the higher quality of the subliminal breathwork? That's my partner, Jen. She She learns so fast, and her increase, that's how I knew the power of the breath is really powerful in terms of overall thinking and cognitive awareness. She is one of the fastest learners I've ever met, because we've been consistent with the breath, and just her being around me and just hearing the breath and different things of that nature, it's heightened her awareness, and she's literally become a superhuman, in my opinion. She really is. And I will definitely be making that. But going back to your question specifically, wake up, whenever you wake up, get into some type of breath work. Stop with the stimulation of breath work. So that's why I delve so much into the parasympathetic, because so many people come to me saying, hey, I tried breath work, but I'm still smoking or whatever. Well, were you doing breath holding? Were you doing sympathetic breath work? Because most likely you were. And it's not that different in terms of stimulating, because that's what we're addicted to. We're addicted to breath patterns that stimulate. And that's why you can't break certain habits, because it's so subtle. Just if you look at Yana's testimonial, the 3 months that we did, she even noticed how subtle it was, but it makes a huge impact. It goes back to the Einstein compound effect. It really does build. Forget time. What is time? It's a compound effect that builds and builds and builds and builds and builds to the point where you're just living the life you were intentionally doing, either subconsciously or consciously. That's up to you. That's the responsibility we all have to ourselves. So taking advantage of subliminal breath work in the background, I think for smoking, is definitely powerful. Does subliminal breath work help with subconscious mind connect to the breath? Yes. There was a friend whose uncle is in the hospital, and I have two friends that's going through this, unfortunately. But one of them finally is off the ventilator, and he can finally do the alchemy breathwork with his nose, and he's slowly progressing. And it was so much worse, because there would be time where they do take him off the ventilator, put it back on, take him out, put it back on, and this whole entire 2 months process, they turned off the TV, and they kept on playing the subliminal breathwork on loop. Going back to the mirror receptors we all have, they've been playing it on loop. And finally, when they finally took it off, he said, wow, I can breathe. I can breathe. So that goes to show you how powerful our subconscious mind is, more powerful than our conscious mind. So what we do in the subconscious, in the dream world, so to speak, affects the real world, but the real world really ties in the dream world and the subconscious. They're not separate. They are one. And I am living it. Before I got physical pyramids around me, I kid you not, I would envision pyramid energy always around me, contracting, expanding, contracting, expanding. This is one of the meditations my Sifu initiated me to do. He said, forget about the physical pyramids. The energetic pyramids will definitely change your life, little man. Oh, he's such a character. Let's see. What's your name? Because I'm going to make a promise to you. ZZ. Later, if I'm gonna wait till after my event, I will be releasing subliminal breathwork for smokers. So bear with me. I think that will definitely do well for your subconscious. And shoot, if you're having a hard time, when you wake up, that's perfectly fine. Just as soon as you wake up, even while you're sleeping, play it to sleep. When I release it, play it to sleep. If you have a hard time doing any breathwork, waking up, because lungs and things of that nature, at least put it on the first thing in the morning. Play it. 30 days straight, DM me and tell me how you feel. And I kid you not, by at least day 20, and I'm going to emphasize this too, you have to do the breathwork yourself as well. So even during the day, if you can, that's the point of the subliminal breathwork too. If you can do the breathwork before and then listen to the subliminal breathwork, you'll even have a deeper experience with it. How do you switch someone who's been mouth breathing for years to nasal? That's a good question. By working out more of the nasal cavity, then doing more nose breath work like alchemy breath work. Also, how you sleep as well. Mouth taping is great. An alternative to mouth taping is smiling to sleep, because you're also going to be training your muscle receptors, and that'll fall deep into your subconscious as well. And why not? Why not smile to sleep? Enhance those serotonin levels, enhance that that awareness in your body going to sleep. Shoot, if that was going to be the last time I go to sleep, I want to be smiling. Shoot, why not? I don't care how bad your day is. Smile to sleep. It will change your life. I don't care how bad your day is. Smile to sleep. Smile to sleep. I have clients who have family members in prison that are telling them to smile to sleep, and doing this, it has changed their lives for the better. Don't care how bad your day is. This internal world is a powerful machine. And this is what they're not telling you. Thank you all for sharing the breath. If anybody wants to hop on here live, you're more than welcome to. I'm going to give it like maybe 5 more minutes. If anybody has any more questions, let them loose. I'm open to share the time I have. I gotta go soon. Yeah, it's easy. Keep me updated. DM me. I read my DMs. No hierarchy here, especially in the members group. There's some people in the members group, they know everyone is just helping each other elevate to as much as they can. That's what it's about. That is what it's about. Hey, Leo. Alright, guys. If nobody wants to hop on here live, seriously, if anybody don't really know how to request live, just let me know and I'll beam you in. Thank you. Smiling to sleep is a beautiful idea. Yes, it is. All right, guys. Thank you all for sharing the breath. Till next time. Peace.
When I started the breathwork with you, and in that period, it was almost like I was, starting to get, like, everything was just like, woo, kind of increasing, and like my whole energy levels and everything. And there was like all this like bliss most of the time. And of course, I also had little dips, but then now it feels more like I'm kind of in this healing stage of like constantly crying and purging and like just releasing a lot. And yeah, and what else? Like, definitely, I'm definitely, like, I was reflecting this morning on like comparing to like 3 months ago. Like, I'm constantly like checking my breath, the way I'm breathing, like just throughout the day. And even though sometimes I don't do like a full breathwork session, I'm still always kind of like checking in with myself. So I was like, yeah, okay, at least I got that. And then
the mental breath work that we talked about.
Yeah, exactly. Like, that's kind of something that I don't really need to remind myself for anymore. And I definitely feel like I have become a lot more aware of myself and like of other situations and like my body and if I think of it, like I have already, like the whole like my sense of like appetite for food is definitely decreased a lot. Like I just think I'm probably just too like I know, like I'm just too harsh on myself. Like I wanted to like, yeah, I'm gonna change like this, and then if I don't change as fast as I want it to happen, then I think that, I don't have enough discipline or whatever. But then if I actually look back, I'm like, I'm still like improving, or like improving in the sense of like I do feel like I am becoming like more and more like myself in a way. Like, yeah.
That's like what you were, I like how you said that, because, many people who are into the fasting world and, have problems with cravings and binge eating, some of them do breath work, but none of them the people at least who come to me, because they don't really dive too much in the parasympathetic, which is what we did for the last 3 months. And I'm happy you're finally seeing the benefits of that, rather than stimulation, holding the breath, and all these different things, because that's what, in hindsight, people can't realize that you're actually addicted to certain breath patterns. It's so subtle, but that's what you're really addicted to. Even though we may look at TV and all this type of stuff as, oh, that's stimulation too, but you don't realize that you're actually addicted to the external world affecting your internal world, rather than giving more power to your internal world, rather than letting the external world affect you. And that's why people say, hey, I've tried breath work on fasting and it's not really helping, blah, blah, blah. Well, have you really tapped deep into the parasympathetic, rather than stimulation after stimulation after stimulation? And that's what we did the last 3 months. And you can see for yourself how different it really is, right?
Yeah. It's like this. It's very subtle, and I guess I feel, probably like the longer, of course, like I just keep on going, like I'll more and more like see the effects. But it's because we're all so used to, like, we want this, like, if it's not the magic pill, or then it's like
instant gratification.
Breath work. It's the magic breathwork technique that will, just like poof all your problems. Like, that doesn't work.
Exactly. It's a process. That's the point of alchemy. It's a system. It's not a technique. It's, how am I implementing these little things, utilizing Einstein's compound effect into my everyday life, rather than just a sit down session. Because when you're going back and forth to uni, you see how you're utilizing the breathing technique, so the stresses of uni isn't too much hard on you. And you can feel the difference.
And what you also said with, like, how we're so used to, like, or like we think the external world affects the internal, and like that opposition. And how I was talking to you about my, like, struggle with university, because it's like so feels like so, like, not in alignment with me, like the whole system, right? And I've been going through, like, like a lot of, like, contemplation. Okay, what should I do? And, like, really only in the last couple of days, or like probably a week ago or something, I was like, okay, like, this doesn't make sense, like, for me to put so much energy into this, because I would go to uni and then I would be driving home crying, because I was like, I don't want to do this, like, this can't be, like, like the way I'm putting my energy at, like, deciding to, like, lose my energy and in, like, to this situation or institution or whatever it is, doesn't make sense, because at the end of the day, like, in a way, like, no matter where I am, like, I should be able to, like, stay peaceful within myself. Like, it doesn't, and it was this, like, whole process that I was like, okay, I understand that intellectually it's not actually the university that's making me feel like this. And then, I had, like, a long conversation with my mother, and, like, all sorts of things kind of, like, happened. And yesterday I was at university, and we had to do this assignment. And I just, like, sat down and just, like, and I was, like, in an instant flow. And yesterday I did only urine, and I had some dandy tea. So, like, so I was fasting all day long. And I just, like, 6 hours, I was just sitting there and, like, smashing this assignment out. And I was like, where is this even coming from? Like, it was so weird. And it was, like, because I knew, because I could see how, like, I was at the institution, like, all my energy was like, this is bad, like, what you're teaching us is bullshit, So I had all this resistance. So I was, like, in a way making it harder for myself. But I still didn't feel this, like, big yes that I should stop it, because I still see the value of what I'll be getting, when I actually have the osteopathy certification, what I can actually do with that. Like, it will open me a lot of doors. And then when I have that allowance in a way to work on that level, like, that's when I can incorporate, breath work, and I can incorporate fasting with patience, whereas now I know at this stage, like,